Hello, 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 dreamers, and welcome back to Perla's Dreams. As always, I would love to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for all your love and support. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. And if you haven't done so, go ahead and do so. We would love to have you. So, this is going to be the collective reading for the waning moon. This is for all of the regular zodiac signs. There will be a separate video for the cusp sign. Okay, so right out of the bat there is this reflection that is happening within you, and what I really like about this energy, to be honest, collectively, is that a lot of you are realizing how you were keeping your spiritual practices, right, or that essence of yourself, your spirituality, apart from your day to day, right? So like the person that shows up to work on a day to day basis, right? Whether it is that you're not open about your spirituality when it comes to work, when it comes to family, when it comes to friends, it doesn't really matter. You see my moon? Okay. So anyways, there is this sense that that is what is being released, this separation that some of you have created, right? And what needs to be understood here, what has to be reflected upon, is that a lot of us, right, and I'm going to put myself there because I was there a few years ago as well, right? We have been, if you were raised in a religious household, you were conditioned that, personally for me, I was raised Catholic. So and then I converted into like Christianity, non-denomination, at one point in my life. And while I was actively practicing both religions, right, during those times, Sundays was the day that we went to worship. Sunday was the day that we went ahead and, prayed, whatever, went to church, communed with others, right? So that is what I'm talking about. There is this thing that we end up bringing those practices into our own spiritual practices a lot of the times without knowing it, right? And it's very simple. Like, let's say every Wednesday I'm going to meditate for an hour, right? Every Thursday I'm going to dance. Every Friday I'm going to do a fire ritual. And it's like this game, this life that we are living, it is not about having these strict formats, right? These routine things that have to be so strict and so constricted. It is about learning to listen to spirit and learning to follow the guidance, right? Learning to live from an intuitive space, knowing that no 2 days are alike, no 2 days are going to be the same. So what does that mean? That means that yes, we have structure around what it is that we're doing, but we allow spirit to move in the way that it wants to, right? So let's say Wednesday you normally meditate, but for some reason this Wednesday morning you wake up and all you want to do is dance. Why do I say that? There's something in that space, in that frequency, in that energy of dance that your spirit, your body, your mind is going to need, right? And then these are the things that we have to learn to shift our perspective, right? So this is not, we're not creating a space of chaos, right? We're learning to listen to our spirit. We're learning to listen to our own intuition. And the only way that we do that is by truly learning to sit with ourselves. What is it that is coming up? Forget about what it is that you plan. Forget about what it is that others are doing. We're all here on different path and on different purposes. And for those of you that are going to connect with this video, right, with this message specifically, there's something that you have been doing routinely, right? It's like a routine. Like, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do this. And it seems like you're not moving forward. It seems like nothing is moving forward. It just seems like you're stuck. And the reason why you're stuck is because, again, you're in this loop of repetition, and the repetition is not going to get you anywhere, right? So like, if I get up every day and I meditate, right, and I am having the same vision or the same experience every single time, I'm not growing within it, right? So when I sit down and I meditate every single day, the outcome is different. And For a lot of you, you're getting really stuck on the structural aspects of things, on the routine aspects of things, right? Yes, it is it beautiful to meditate for an hour? Yes, it is amazing. 2 hours, 3 hours. Yes, it is a beautiful thing, but in reality, sometimes your body is going to require you to meditate for just 10 minutes. So you have to stop putting these designated rules on your life, on your spirit, and instead allow to listen to what it is that your spirit is asking you for during that time. Okay, so now let's go ahead and let's see how this is going to unfold specifically in what area of your life for you guys. So for Aries, let's go ahead and see. So Aries, you guys are definitely going through a very aha moment. That's what we like to call them, right? This epiphany, this like, oh shoot, this is what it was all this entire time. And what is coming in for you guys specifically with this energy is you're finally like okay. So Aries, you guys are finally seeing someone within your inner circle, whether this is somebody romantic or platonic, for who they truly are. There's somebody that has been around you, and again, I'm gonna say it this way because this person feels like I keep on hearing like 2013. I don't know why. That's like the year. So when we think about like 2013, that was what uh ooh uh what was I saying? 2013. Sorry, I don't know why I keep going back to that number with you guys, but it's like it may have been somebody that you met around that time. May have been somebody like which your connection with this person started to really blossom during this time or whatever it was. Maybe you reconnected with somebody around that time, but in to make a long story short, it's like it's somebody that you have had in your life for at least like 10 to 15 years, and you're finally seeing how this person, who this person truly is. It's like they show up as somebody that cares for you or that loves you, etc., but their actions are completely the opposite. So like if you're trying to, let's say you say, oh, I want to do this, like they put butts on everything that you want to do. They try to talk you down from the things that you want to do, but then at the same time they'll turn around and do exactly what it is that you want, that you were planning of doing. It's almost kind of like this person keeps you around to get ideas from you so that then they can execute it, but they talk you out of these own ideas yourself. So you have, and again, whoever this individual is for you, you are going to be sitting in your feelings for a second, not necessarily because of what this person has done, but because spirit has been trying to show you this from the beginning, and a lot of you have been turning away from this energy. A lot of you have been avoiding who this person truly is, right? It's almost kind of like in a space like, let's say, and again, this is just an example, like if you have a relationship with, with your mother or whatever, and then you love your mother has been in your life your entire life, etc., etc., and then spirit starts to show you like the little ways that your mother was he was picking at you, right? And again, like a mother that tells her daughter or her son, you're never going to amount to anything, you're never going to do this, you're never going to accomplish this, you're never, like, that is too much for you, like aim lower, like this and this and that. Like that is the type of energy that I'm talking about. And a lot of you are coming to realize exactly who this person is in your life. So we have the Nine of Swords in the reverse with the Five of Cups. And again, you are going to be sitting in your feelings in regards to this for a little while. There's nothing wrong with that, because it is something that you do need to process during this time. What I would say is, like, especially like during the moon, right? It's always nice to have like a little ritual, if you can, or either give yourself a nice cleansing bath with some salts and some herbs, etc., um, because this is not necessarily coming as a shocker towards you. It is more of like an acceptance type of energy. So let's go ahead and let's pull out an oracle card as your closing message. We are using the Shaman's Dream Oracle deck. And I do keep my cards in these little these little pouches until my office is done, just for storage wise. And so I really don't know what cards I'm pulling out until I pull them out. It's kind of exciting. A little game. So give me a closing message for Aries. Give me a closing message for Aries. One card for Aries. Ooh. Mm. I know and it definitely is a hard thing to see when we see the reality of who people truly are in our lives. So we have the number 18, eyes of the eagle, rising above the fray. So again, I feel that a lot of you are definitely going to be in a space where you are going to be able to process this. You are going to be able to really allow yourself to see someone's true color. But after you see this person's true color, I do not see you going back. I do not see the connection between you and this person going back to how you thought it was. It's going to be moving forward from the reality of what it is. All right. All right. Taurus. What do we have, Taurus? Um, Taurus, during this time for you guys, it's the reflection is happening around the space of when you have been your biggest obstacle, when you have decided that you're not listening to other people's advice. There were certain people that were giving you advice on certain things, and because of whom it came from, a lot of you just ignored the advice. A lot of you chose not to listen to the advice. And during this time, as you're reflecting, you are realizing that the reason why spirit used these individuals to bring these messages towards you was because the things that you dislike about them for a lot of you are the things within yourself that you dislike. And now, before you get in your bunches, okay, what do I mean by that? Okay, very simple. Maybe there is a person that procrastinates a lot, but they're sitting here giving you the best advice, like, no, you got to get up, you got to do this, you got to show up for yourself, and this and this and that. And the whole time you're sitting there like, seriously, dude, like, you are like the biggest procrastinator, so you decide to dismiss it, right? Or you have somebody that literally all they do is eat junk food. They don't work out, but they're telling you how you need to live a healthy lifestyle. And you're just like, are you effing kidding me? Like, when was the last time you were at the gym? When was the last time you did anything physically, right? And again, here, this message is not about body shaming or anything like that. We're just talking about like the perspective of things, right? So then what you have to realize is like, okay, in what area of my life am I procrastinating? In what area of my life am I not taking care of myself, right? Because it is not the, so let's put it this way, it is the energy, right, that we dislike, right? We dislike the energy of procrastination. So just because somebody's procrastinating on work, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're procrastinating in work. You may be procrastinating in your self-care. Just because somebody's not showing up for themselves when it comes to their self-care doesn't mean that that's what you're doing. Maybe you're not showing up 100% when it comes to your creativity, right? Just because somebody is lying about their finances doesn't mean that you're lying about your finances. Maybe you're lying about what it is that what your true, like, what your love energy is, what your where your love life is at this moment, right? So we're identifying that specific energy, not what it is that is attached to. And I hope that that makes sense. So that is the one thing that I feel that during this time you have to really come to terms with, right? So let's say and again, we all we all do this, right? And this is how we grow and this is how we evolve, right? By realizing like, ooh, wait, what's that? Why is that coming up, right? And not to say that, yeah, sometimes spirit is telling you like, this person is somebody that you need to stay completely away from. but that is not the energy that we're talking about in this space. Okay. So I would revisit those spaces where somebody that you felt had no right to give you an advice gave you an advice. And I feel that if you really allow yourself to listen to the message and not so much the messenger of who's bringing you this advice, you will be able to start moving forward and really stop being this huge obstacle in your own space. Because again, there is nothing outside of us that is blocking us. Everything that is blocking us energetically, it is because we have not come into alignment with what it is that we're trying to, achieve or manifest, right? So really allow yourself during this time to open up to this space, right? So however it is that this space wants to manifest for you, in all honestly, I would just allow it to, sorry, I had to turn off the air purifier. I would allow it to just kind of come up, right? And this may look about this definitely for a lot of you guys is this the structural thing where you feel that the advisor you're taking that you are to take has to come from like a very specific type of person, when in reality sometimes those that we are helping like guide through life, right, or through an experience or whatever it is, usually also have messages or reminders, right, reminders to us of maybe something that we may have lost sight of. All right. So let's go ahead. What is the closing message for Taurus? Okay. The cosmic womb, the divine feminine energy. Whenever we talk about like divine, I don't know if you can see. I don't know if I get it closer. I guess it gets blurrier. Um, when we talk about this, the feminine energy, I always fall into this space of like creativity, this space of just kind of being, right, instead of like trying to force things. And for a lot of you guys, like just allow things to surface. Stop resisting things that want to surface, and stop trying to force what doesn't want to be like what doesn't want to what doesn't want to surface. Oh, why did I get stuck in that one? um so again, what I was saying was like allow what wants to come up, and what doesn't want to come up, don't go digging for it, because maybe there's a part of you right now that is not ready to accept something. Okay. Geminis, what are we doing, Geminis? um this is a time for you guys, Gemini, and I don't know why it feels kind of like ooh, this is nice. But this is a time for you guys to definitely mingle, if that makes any sense. Or there's something about like the next week or so to really be actively like socializing with people, or actively around people. There's something within that space that there is a lot to learn from. For those of you specifically that have had a hard time being in crowds, for those of you that feel kind of like out of alignment or feel drained, etc., when you are in crowds, there's something during this week to learn within that space, like how to ground yourself when you are in spaces like this, right? Because yes, I am very guilty. Many years ago, like I wouldn't even step foot like in a Walmart because of like how ungrounded I was, and I'm not ashamed to say it, right? I Because I am so open spiritually, there is this sense where I had to go through the process of learning how to truly ground myself, right? So that is kind of like your homework for this week is like like you need to stop being afraid of putting yourself in these situations or these spaces, right? Because if spirit is guiding you to like go and mingle, go and be in these spaces, trust me, spirit is going to give you the tools that you need in order to be successful within those spaces, right? So again, a lot of you have been very ritualistic when it comes to like if you're going to go to a party, if you're going to go to this, like you have like 110 things that you need to do spiritually to be able to even step out of your house. And it's like Yes, we like diving into our spirituality. We like diving into like these practices and things like that. But at the end of the day, we're also supposed to be living a life. We're supposed to be experiencing life, right? And if we have so much anxiety over, even stepping outside of the house, then we need to address, are we really listening to spirit, or are we listening to what 10 different people are doing to protect our energy, right? We are all individual. We all connect to spirit in many different ways. Therefore, there is a specific thing that works for you that may not work for someone else, and vice versa, right? And I was actually, and I know it's a side note, but I was actually having this conversation with somebody else where I was telling them, I was like, yeah, when I prepare a bath for someone, I'm preparing a bath for what the energy that that person is in at that moment in time, for this moment in time. So no two baths that I prepare are ever the same. And that's kind of like how you have to look at this energy during this time, Gemini. Um, let's go ahead and let's see, what do we have? What else does Gemini need to know? There's this energy of like something circling back around. I feel that maybe around this time last year, you were dabbing into it, or you were allowing yourself to really see what it was that the spirit was guiding you to. Again, let's get out of this mindset that it has to be like this structural type of thing. And again, unless you are following a very specific religion or a very specific spiritual practice, right? So like I know, like, and I shouldn't say I know, but I am assuming like under like voodoo, Buddhism, like under certain covenants and things like that, there is a structure, a hierarchy, right, of things that need to be done, need to be followed, etc. That is not what I'm talking about here. I am talking about you yourself and your own direct connection through to spirit, right? Your own direct connection to spirit, to the divine, to God, to the universe, however it is that you want to word it, however it is that you feel comfortable phrasing it. That is what we're talking about here, right? So if you are in a coven, they'll go and be like, to whoever it is that is above you within that coven, like, oh, Perla said that I don't got to listen to you. No, because that is a path that you chose, right? You chose to be in that coven, right? This is what we're talking about here, is just you, yourself, and the divine, you, yourself, and spirit. This is what we're talking about, because at the end of the day, that is the goal. The goal is for you to have um your own grounded connection with spirit, right? Because we are all connected to spirit, we're all connected to God, but we want it to be grounded, right? And that is what we are collectively working towards. Okay, so what do we have for Gemini? Whew, yours flew out like there was no tomorrow. Heart, home, compassion. See, like you see the I don't know if that's like a castle or what it is, but there's like a little home here, right? So this is kind of like the energy, and it's the number 27. I don't know why I have to say it, but there it is. And 2 and 7 is 9. Okay, I don't know why I have to say that either, but whatever, whatever rocks your boat, Gemini. Anyways, so yeah, so you're in this process of like literally coming home to yourself, and what I mean by that is this process of like getting grounded within your own spirit, getting grounded within your own body, your own mind, right? So that when you are going out into public, when you are connecting to other people, you are not shaken by it. There's no leaks in your aura, there's no leak in your energetic field. That is the goal here, Gemini. All right. So let's cancer, 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 cancer. Okay, so Cancer, and it seems like you are here in this energy just about every few months. I would say like every 3 or 4 months, you're revisiting this energy that is surfacing for you guys. There is a relationship. For a lot of you, this is a romantic relationship that you're just kind of like done with, and for whatever the reason, you haven't taken the steps forward to walk away from this connection completely. logically you understand why you have to walk away from this connection. Logically you understand why you have to walk away from this connection, but there's something that seems to pull you back in. For those of you that this is not romantic, this may simply be like a family member or a friend, but there's an energy or something that okay. I gotta laugh because some of you are like, there's no relationship, there's no family, this is just work related. Okay, so for those of you that this is work related, there's an energy here of like that just keeps taking, and at the end of the day you're just feeling drained, right? So there's something that needs to shift within this space, right? So for regardless of whatever this is for you, romantic, this is work or whatever, it is either about walking completely away from um the structure of how things are working within, like the dynamic within that space, right? So does that mean that you and your partner have to have a heart to heart conversation of how things have to shift within the connection in order for things to move forward, right? Are these boundaries that you need to set with a specific family member, like, hey, these are the boundaries that you keep on crossing, if you cross them one more time, this is it, we're done, right? Or is this yourself with work, like, are you setting boundaries between you and your workspace, right, your work time, and are you following through within those spaces, right? Or are you allowing yourself the big hearted, and I'm going to do it in quotations mark, to to take to take the wheel, right, to take the lead at this time, and then it's like whoosh, you're overworked, you're over exhausted, you're over everything, and it's like, and I feel like it's usually around this time that you say, no, next year is going to be different, next year is going to be different, or moving forward, it's going to be different, and you do stick to it for a very short period of time, and then you fall right back into old patterns. So during this time, Cancer, you really need to reflect as to why it is that you continue to fall back into these patterns. There is something here of this energy of hope. You're hoping for either something to shift, or you're hoping for someone to change your mind, or you're hoping for someone to see the reality of something. And it's like that hope in itself is keeping you within this loop, Cancer. All right, so let's go ahead and let's see. And again, guys, if you guys hear any background, because I can hear someone has a speaker up really loud upstairs, just realize that I do have two dogs and I do have four kids. So this quietness that you see here right now is probably like the most quietness you're going to hear. So yeah, for a lot of you it's like, you know what you need to do, so let's get out of our own way. Let's stop with the tomorrow. There's no better time than right now, there's no better time than today, right? So a quick example is like, when somebody's like on a diet or something like that, or on a healthy journey, and they have one bad meal. Don't allow that one bad meal to turn into a bad day, into a bad week, into a bad month, right? You can cut it off right there. If you realize today, shoo, I did 3 more hours than what I was supposed to, okay, admit it to yourself, allow yourself to integrate that energy, how it feels, etc., etc., and then tomorrow make sure that you're staying on track. It's very simple like that. So stop leaving for tomorrow what can be done today, or what you can start today. All right, so what is the final message for Cancer? Dream thief. Refusal of the call, right? So when we talk about like refusing something, or if we like, I am very guilty in the 3D, where my phone is always on personal, so people call and they get my voicemail automatically. There's very few people that can get through. um Everybody else is going straight to voicemail, right? So it's kind of like that energy, like some like spirit keeps on showing up for you in a certain way, like, hey, this is what needs to be addressed, and this is where the tweaking needs to be done. And again, I don't necessarily feel that you are, and again, I'm reading these intuitively, not based on what the book says, before you guys come at me. So anyways, what I was saying was like, Spirit keeps on telling you, like, hey, this is what needs to be addressed in this space. And you are very much aware. There is no here, like, you're not waiting for your aha moment. You're not waiting for your clarity. It is more of like the the continuous, like staying continuously committed to the changes is where the issue is happening for you guys. That is what's happening, okay? Okay. Leos, what do we have, Leos? Because I really no, let me stop. So, Leos, during this time, there is this sense of retrieving within yourself. It feels very heavy, your energy, to be honest with you. There's like this almost draining sensation coming. And it's weird because it's not going like from like it's feeling from like my third eye to like literally my jaw, and then it stops from my jaw and it just comes out. So there's something there's something that you're trying to process, that you're trying to really release, but something is like you only get part of it out, if that makes sense. And for those of you that if you're dealing with something from your childhood or something from like a past relationship or something like that, remember that not everything needs to be quote unquote like healed all at once, right? Maybe there is maybe you're feeling like restriction when it comes to letting go of something or letting go of someone. Maybe letting go of an idea, letting go of a thought, whatever it is. And it's not necessarily because you still want the thing or you want the person or whatever. It is because like your physical body is still trying to catch up to your spirit and to your mind. Like when it comes to that you know that connection of like, okay, we're done with this. So just try your best to not try to force this release. Instead, lean into it. So when you start to feel this restricted energy of like, okay, like it feels like it's coming, and all of a sudden it's like, whoosh, it's like your body takes it right back in. It's like when you're feeling that, instead of tensing up, like sit with it and see what it is that spirit is calling you to do. Maybe what you were doing in the past to heal or to release is no longer working because you're no longer within that space. You're no longer within that energy. So, the same way that routines and structures and rituals that we practice when we were in a space of survival are no longer working when we are living, when we're experiencing, when we're experiencing life, when we're thriving, is the same way that things that you were doing to release, to heal, etc., may not be working at this moment in time because you're no longer in that space, you're no longer in that frequency. So that shift, it needs to occur for you guys to to really allow yourself. I don't know why I have to switch my ring. I guess I'm like imitating your guys' energy, right? Like something needs to be shifted, something needs to be switched so that you can allow yourself to release this completely. And it may be something like, let's say you are a heavy like heavy meditator where you sit at a very certain position and you don't move and anything like that. And for some reason, every time this specific image is coming up or this specific thing is coming up for you, your body wants to do something like silly, right? Like move your waist in a certain way or move your chest forward real quickly or move a finger or whatever, and you're restricting yourself, right, from it. And maybe just allowing yourself to like move that finger or move your waist or move your neck or whatever it is that you intuitively are feeling will allow you to release this completely. um so again, there is a space of like a choice that needs to be made here, and allowing an experience, allowing an energy to be released, excuse me, the way that it wants to be released, instead of you trying to force it to release the way that you have done it in the past, right? And again, I think I mentioned this, I think it was during Gemini's quick reading, where when I'm making a bath, right, for a person, I make I use, like, there is a structure within it, right? So the person gets a bath, the person gets a tea, the person gets an oil that goes with it, right? And the person also gets like the context of the bath itself, like it's saved in a specific way for them, right? And it is sealed. So what is going in that bath, though, it is different for each person, and it's also different for that person depending on what season they are in. So no two bath, no two oils, no two anything that I do for a client is ever the same, right? Because depending on what, and like what frequency they are in, right, depends on what it is that that person needs for that period of time. So there is structure, and like, there's three things that I do automatically, right? This is what I'm offering, but how that unfolds changes every single time. And that's where we have to really get into that space when it comes to like allowing spirit to speak to us, and allow ourselves to really listen to our intuition. All right, so what is the closing message for Leo? Me talks. Repairing the body, mind, and spirit. Me talks. A lot of your me talks comes from the breaking down of how you were doing things. Realizing that there is definitely, well, you already know that, right? There's more than one way to do things, and yes, maybe that routine of meditation, maybe that routine of being out in nature, maybe that routine of like, and I'm not talking about like, oh, now all of a sudden you're not going to meditate, oh, now all of a sudden you're not going to go on in nature, oh, now all of a sudden you're not going to dance. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that there has to be a flow to it, right? There has to be this flow that comes in naturally. So like learning to live to your own rhythm, to your own song that is within you. And that's what a lot of you are processing during this time. And it is that clarity is going to come to you guys through this space of like, hey, this is what needs to be tweaked. And it's like, oh shoot, that's what spirit was talking about. This is what spirit was trying to show me this entire time. All right, Virgos, what is it with you? Choo, choo, choo. So during this time, Virgos, a lot of you are okay. So a lot of you Virgos have a lot of eyes on you during this time. A lot of you Virgos have a lot of there's a lot of attention coming in towards you. There is, but there's also this. I don't want to call it. mm, There's like this a little. There's a little uneasy energy around it. Some of you may, and again, the attention that you're getting is not bad, right? It's good attention, right? Like somebody is acknowledging your work, or somebody is acknowledging your part in a relationship. Hold on, guys. So by all means, this is not a sorry, let me move this back. This is not any bad attention that you're getting, but there is this uneasy energy underneath it that you need to address. For some of you, there is this energy of like, how long is this going to last? So you are already bringing in this little, you're planting this little seed that something is not going to last. You're planting this little seed that something is not going to continuously be successful. So however it is that this energy is unfolding in your life, whether this is romantic, whether this is financially, whether this is like work related, stop being the person that initiates the birth of a destruction of the destruction of something. And instead, when that thought comes to mind, ask yourself, where did this originate? Where did this fear, where did this mindset that nothing lasts, that everything is short lived. Like I am not, like, because again, this is the way that I'm picking it up. It's like some of you know that you are worthy of something, but physically your body needs a little tuning, a little fine tuning around that energy. So let's figure out where that is for you, right? So when that thought process comes up, when that sensation comes up, do not dismiss it. Sit with it and ask it to show you where it originates for you, so that this way you can go through the process um, of integrating that energy back into your life in a way that it is safe and that is productive towards where it is that you are in life now. However it is that you do that, right? It can be something as simple as like acknowledging the energy, covering that space of yourself that, whether this originated when you were 7 years old, like covering that 7 year old with love, like reparenting that 7 year old through like an experience or whatever it is, like whether it's through meditation, whether it's like through somatic workout, whatever it is that needs to be done. This energy needs to be addressed, and it needs to be addressed at this moment in time, because again, there's something here that is taking off. There's something here that there is attention being brought up towards something, and you are planting a seed of doubt within that space. So spirit is asking you prior to that happening, like, hey, before this happens, let's address it so that it doesn't. Let's avoid this, because we're done with those patterns, right? All right, so let's go ahead. What do we have for Virgo? Virgo's closing message. Root girl, the disowned self. I really want you to look at this picture. I really love this picture, the way the trunk is, and the I don't know if you can see the face, right? How she's looking down. And again, we're going to, during this time, Virgos, is get to the root of things. Get to the root of it. We're not just accepting things that are coming to our minds, like, oh no, this is gonna, this is only gonna last a week, this is only gonna last. No, wait, why am I feeling this way? Let's get to the root of this. Let's deal with this, because you cannot continue on working on projects, working on relationships, working on all of this, and then when something is finally manifesting for you, when something is finally happening for you, it's like a self-destructive energy. And it's not intentional, to be honest with you. This is coming from something that hasn't been unresolved, as with everything else that happens in our life. So let's address what it is that has been unresolved in your life, Virgo. All right, Libra, Libra, Libra. Um, a lot of your okay. I keep on seeing I keep on seeing a broom, like bear with me, Libra. Keep on seeing like a little tiny broom. And it's like you're taking the little broom, right, and you're wiping like your third eye, right? So like I see somebody, whether it is that you're like going in a circle of motion around your third eye, whether it is that you're doing things to cleanse that area, to activate, to open it, whatever it is, there is this third eye cleaning, this third eye energy um cleansing that is happening. And I actually like the way that it's being shown, because it's like very comical at this moment in time. um a lot of grace with yourself during this time, Libra. A lot of grace is needed during this time for yourself, as you are on unveiling these aspects of yourself. I feel that there are parts of yourself, Libra, that you denied the experience of life, that you denied a voice. And these spaces within you that have been dormant are coming out. And and a lot of the times what we have to realize is like, let them come out, let them have a voice, but do not allow not one specific thing to take the wheel, to take hold, to take the lead, right? Um, so that you can remain grounded during this transition in your life. Okay. So let's say if the energy of fear comes up, do not allow yourself to see it, to sense it, to acknowledge it, and kind of like, okay, let's see what you want to show me. But do not allow it to dictate how your day is going to unfold, right? If the energy of excitement comes in, right? It's like, okay, let's see, let's unfold, right? The energy of whatever it is, right? Something that you have allowed yourself to, that you have kept dormant within yourself, right? The energy of hope, the energy of whatever, like, watch it, integrate it, right? We don't want not one thing to take complete hold of everything. There is this balance, right? This grounding balance that we are all like going towards or working towards, or that once you attain, you realize that that's what you want to be your baseline, right? So as much as something feels good, as much as something is again, let's get grounded within that space. Let's get grounded within that space. And that's pretty much what I'm going to say, because it does very much feel like a lot of you are having whether it is a lot of dreams or a lot of vision, there is this this opening that that is happening for you guys spiritually during this time. A lot of you are no longer resisting this awakening process in your life. A lot of you are allowing yourself to transition to the next step or whatever it may be. And you're being asked to stay grounded within who you are. And these are the cards that came up for you. And I know I haven't been showing them to everybody. And I feel that whether it is one person or whatever it is, there is this energy of like someone trying to guide you, someone trying to give you advice. And you have to learn to use your discernment, right? Are you being triggered by an advice somebody is giving you? And is if you are being triggered, is it because of something within your spirit or something within the other person's spirit? And here is where this this fine game begins, when you're threading through these spaces, right? um so allow yourself to be open, like, okay, if somebody's trying to guide you, if somebody's trying to warn you, or is trying to help you because they've been through the process, and you feel like, oh, they're telling me this because they don't want me to get to where they're at. I personally feel that when spirit puts certain people in our life to guide us or to lead the way in certain things, and if you hear somebody snoring, those are my dogs. She snores really loud, Zena. So are you, how can I put it this way, if it's somebody that you openly went to and etc etc, a lot of the times we don't want to realize that we don't want to realize what is triggering us and why is it triggering us. So there is this sense where a lot of you may think that somebody's giving you like spiritual advice to kind of keep you tamed, when in reality they're trying to push you into going more within yourself, to really allow yourself to ground within what it is that is opening up at this moment in time. Let's go ahead and let's pull out an oracle card for Libra. Meat talks again, repairing the body, mind, and spirit. So, like, this makes complete sense for you guys, especially with the little broom that I saw with the third eye. Really allow yourself, again, whatever emotion is coming forth, whatever energy is coming forth, whether it is jealousy, whether it is anger, whether it is joyful, whether it is hope, whether it is numbness, whatever it is energy that you have suppressed for a really long time. It has been dormant for a very long time, and now it is coming out. And what I say is, one of the things that I like to say is, like, I know that shadow aspect of myself, that loves vengeance, loves um, that darker side of myself, right? And when I let her out to play, because I do let her out to play, trust me, I do. The way that she comes out to play is very different than what she did 5, 6, 7, 10 years ago. When I suppressed her so bad that when she came out with vengeance, and she will destroy. She would destroy things that I would just be like, what? Um, and now I let her out to play in a different way, but she is still expressing herself, right? So that's kind of like the energy that you guys have to. That is the balancing out for you guys during this time. All right, the Scorpios, Scorpios. You're in a little bliss during this time, Scorpios. Um, you're in a little bliss during this time, Scorpio season. A lot of people are celebrating their birthday. I have a lot of Scorpios in my life. Two of my children are actually Scorpios. I have cousins that are Scorpios, so Scorpios, and they gravitate towards me. I don't know why. But anyways, you're very much in a blissful energy. When anything, I'm gonna do it in quotations, negative tries to come in, you're being dismissive about it. And I'm gonna tell you to be very careful with that energy of dismissing things. When things come up that we perceive, using the word perceive because that's what it is, as negative, it is trying to address something. So instead of dismissing it, either put it aside till later, so you feel like you have time or whatever, or just allow it to, like, pass, right? Sometimes an energy just wants to be acknowledged, and it passes right through. It doesn't need to stay, it doesn't need to show you anything, etc. Sometimes it does have to show you something, but if you continue to dismiss what's coming, then you're never really going to be able to tell the difference when an energy is trying to just pass through to be experienced, or when it is an energy that wants to truly show you something. And the only way to really tell the difference, Scorpio, is by allowing yourself to become familiar with the difference, right? It is something that is a repetition thing, right? So I am very much, when something comes up for me specifically, let's put it this way, because I do readings, for other people, I do readings collectively. When an energy presents itself that I may have perceived as negative in the past, I just observe it. I'm like, what are you doing here? I get curious about it. And right away, the minute that I say that, like, "Who? What are you doing here?" It's like immediately I know, okay, this is something that I need to process. This is something I need to address. This is something that is coming up for this client that I'm gonna read in a couple of hours, or this is something that just wants to be experienced, and it's just saying hello, old friend, right? Remember me from the past? Just say hi, right? So that we don't forget what it felt like. So that is where you're at during this time. It's like, Scorpio, do not dismiss what is trying to surface, right? Whether this is a thought, like a negative thought about your finances, or a negative thought about your relationship, a negative thought about your past relationships, your past finances, your past living life, your current living situation, whatever it is. Don't be so quick to dismiss it, because there's something within that space to learn. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and let's see. It is so dark outside. Like, it was so light when I started it. There is here suppressing of emotions here. Scorpios, again, you guys, and I say this with a lot of love. A lot of you guys will move forward in a direction even when you know you're not ready for it. Whether this is financially, whether this is romantically, whether this is platonic, whatever it is, you know there's something there that needs to be processed. You know that there's something there that needs to be that needs to be addressed. But instead of addressing it, a lot of you put up a front. And I know the quotes like fake it till you make it, right? But as we're faking it till we make it, we are still working in those spaces, right? So, like, let's say if you're trying to manifest wealth, you're not just sitting here like, oh, I'm wealthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wealthy, and you're not doing anything to get that wealth, right? So it is the same thing with everything else in your life, right? So if you want to get to a space where you're healed from something, whether it is something from childhood, whether it's something from a past relationship or whatever it is, it's like, yes, you can say, I am healed from this. But also, when things come up, when things are surfacing from that time, from that space, allow it to come and address it at that time, because it is an energy that wants to be processed and wants to be released. But by dismissing it, it's like it continues to come knocking on the door. All right. All right, Scorpios. What is the closing message for Scorpio? What do we have? Crown games. Right use of power. That is the question here. Are you using this opportunity that is coming towards you to really be a little bit more connected with yourself, as to be able to have the discernment of whether something is something that needs to be processed, or something that needs to just be experienced for that moment in time? So for those of you that are going to take the advice, I feel that you are going to, even if it's just a day, you're just going to be like, oh, like, I'm off on Thursday, so let me just play with this, let's see what comes up. Like, I'm just going to watch and see what these energies are. I feel that those of you that allow yourself to do that, a week from now, you're going to be like, wait, it's like you shifted, you transitioned to this other frequency that you didn't even know was possible. And for those of you that are going to choose not to, whether it is because something comes up that feels very uncomfortable, whatever it is, it may just not be your time to deal with this, right? Um, just know that things are going to be coming up in dreams to help you process, or to help you get you into a state where you can actually begin to work in this aspect of your life. All right. So, Sagittarius, what do we have? Sagittarius, for a lot of you during this time, there is this quiet climbing the ladder. And a lot of you are under the impression that nobody is watching you climb the ladder. Nobody's watching the work that you're doing, or nobody's watching like the time, the energy, the effort that you're putting into something. But that's not true. There is, during this time, it's like, whether it is that you're going to be getting messages, or you're going to get like an open, when I say open, it's like in front of other people. Like, somebody's going to call you out to like celebrate you, call you out to celebrate the work that you've been doing, calling you out to like to just say thank you. There's this space of gratitude for you guys coming up, where you're on the receiving end of the gratitude. And what here seems a little bit, that you need to learn, that you're going to have to reflect on, is, why are you resisting the gratitude? Because I feel that you have gotten into a space recently where you're learning to be grateful for the people in your life, for your day to day. Like, you have been practicing gratefulness, however that may have been coming up for you, but now you're in the receiving end of it. So, I, aside from doing this and seeing clients privately, I also cook privately. for private events, like private spiritual events. And I'm there to do a job, cooking and bringing my own medicine, my own flair to it through the cooking. And people, when I'm there in these spaces, different spaces, people are very grateful for it. And for a very long time, I was very grateful to have the opportunity to do that, right? But at the beginning of it, it felt uncomfortable to receive the gratefulness from others, because I felt that if I received the gratefulness, I wasn't being of service in the way that I wanted to. So there was that space that I needed to go within myself and see why I felt that way, right? And really allow myself to go into that space and be like, okay, where is this coming from? And how do we change this narrative now? How do we reparent that aspect of myself, right? So that's kind of like what is coming up. So like, allow yourself to be open to people saying thank you. Allow yourself to be open to people um having like a standing ovation for something that you're doing, something that you're creating, something that you're putting your time, that you put your time or effort into it, right? Whether this is like an award that you're getting, whether it's a bonus or whatever it is, whether it is your partner showing you how much they love you by running you a bath, or by booking some, I don't know, like whatever it is, however it is that somebody's showing you that they are grateful to have you in their life. Allow yourself to receive that, Sag. Okay. All right. What else do we have for Sagittarius during this time? Yeah, there is this space where, even if it is uncomfortable, I feel that a lot of you guys are just going to allow yourself to, you're going to surrender to the moment. Um, and the beautiful thing is, like, the more that we allow ourselves to surrender within certain spaces that may have been uncomfortable, sometimes it is the only way for some people, especially like if they experience a lot of trauma, um around safety, about around boundaries, around abandonment, about around like not being seen, whatever it is. Sometimes like constant exposure or little exposure to it allows our nervous system to realize that this is a safe space. And I feel that that is the energy that a lot of you are working within during this time. All right. So, what is the closing message for Sagittarius? Lost in space, needing direction. Needing direction. And a lot of the times, again, like you have been practicing gratefulness in the sense of like giving it to other and not receiving it. So allows the same way that spirit guide you through this space of being grateful, right? Being grateful for being alive, being grateful for your job, being grateful for your house, whatever it is, right? Allow yourself now to allow spirit to guide you through this aspect of the where now you're receiving. Now you're on the receiving end. Now you're on the receiving end. Allow yourself to be comfortable in that space, whether it is very little, like when somebody, like a very simple practice, if somebody gives you a compliment, right? Oh, you look so pretty today. Oh, you look so handsome today. Oh, thank you. That's it. A lot of the times like, oh, thank you, but I look a hot mess. No, no, no. That but I look a hot mess is not a part of it, right? Because what spirit is doing when these people are coming up to you and are giving you compliments, when these people are grateful for you being there, it is a way of, like, the spirit is teaching you how to get comfortable with something that has been uncomfortable because of your past, right? So every single day, we have the opportunity, every single moment, to open ourselves up to rewrite these things within us that are just pure lies, right? These things that were told to us, these things that we were conditioned to. So really allow yourself to be directed by spirit during this time. All right, Capricorn, Capricorn, Capricorn. All right, Capricorns, what do we have for you guys? You're pretty much in your own little bubble during this time, Capricorn. Hold on, let me have a little sip because it's, as I'm saying now, some of you may have heard my Capricorn up there laughing. I don't know what he's doing, but he's upstairs laughing. And I'm a Capricorn as well, which is FYI. We have a lot of water and earth in this house. Literally, everybody in this house is either water or earth signs, even the dogs, which I laugh about. But, anyways, Capricorns, a lot of you during this time, excuse me, are in your own little bubble. You are refusing to come out of your bubble. There, whether this is romantically, whether this is career wise, finances, whatever, you are in a bubble and you're like, I'm not leaving this bubble. And it's like sometimes you realize that you have to be a little delusional when it comes to achieving a goal, right? Because a lot of times you will have people, and this is something that I love to say, is like you cannot expect somebody that doesn't have a dream to support yours, right? So when you have a very specific dream, whether it is that ideal relationship, that ideal house, that ideal whatever, right? If you are sharing your dreams, your ideas, your whatever with people that do not have that, do not have not allowed themselves to even think of that, right? They can only speak from where they are in life, right? So for them, what you're trying to achieve seems like a miracle, seems like magic, seems like something that is unrealistic. Because at this moment in time, they're still stuck in that loop that where they are is as good as it's going to get. So during this time, especially as you're continuously moving towards whatever it is that you're trying to bring to life, to create, you are going to continue on being in this bubble. Now, what is going to be a little challenging for you guys, for Capricorns during this week, is keeping the naysayers away, or not internalizing what they're saying, so that they are not planting seeds of doubts for you during this time. So I would very much during this time, if you are a Capricorn and you are in your own little bubble, you are working towards something that maybe people told you in the past that you couldn't do, and this and this and that. A very prime example is like where I am at now. When I had first mentioned that I wanted to buy a house years ago, because of what happened with work and all of that stuff. Um, because I am, I am a nurse by trade, even though I don't practice anymore. And I do talk about it in my other channel. Um, there is this space that I, for a very long time, would tell myself, like, oh no, I'm going to buy a house, I'm going to buy a house, I'm going to buy a house. And then I would immediately, my body would immediately constrict. And I started hearing the voices like, oh, there's no way that somebody that's not working anymore is going to buy a house, and this and this and that. And for a very long time, I was like this fighting back and forth within myself. And then when when the financial means came to it, there were still people that were saying that because of my status I wasn't going to be able to, right? And this and this and that. And then what I ended up doing, literally, like the last, I want to say, like the last, not the last year, but the last, that December before I purchased the house, because I purchased the house in March. So that December before, I decided I was going to be completely delulu, because the September, October, it was looking rough. It was looking rough back then to buy a house. This was in 2023 to 2024. And it was looking rough. And in December, I was like, no, I'm going to be completely delulu. I'm going to be completely delusional that this is going to work for me. And and I listened to myself, what I was comfortable asking for physically, right? When my body was in alignment with at that moment in time. And here we are in our first home, our first house. And I say that to remind you guys that sometimes you do have to be a little delusional. And I am being very delusional about my next house, my next property, my next everything, right? And and that's kind of like what you guys have to hold on, guys, because there was a bunch of cards that fell to the floor. Um, so there is this thing where you have to make a choice as to what delusion are you going to live in, Capricorn. Are you going to live in the delusion that you are the narrator, or are you going to live in the delusion that someone is speaking over your life, right? Someone is telling you what you can and cannot do. And that is a choice that you guys are going to have to make. And what I like about these cards is that a lot of you are just, you're not even mad anymore about like people that doubt you or people that are doubting what you're trying to do, or anything like that. You're just sitting there, you're just like, you know what, I'm going to allow the success, I'm going to allow the outcome of something to speak for itself. And I love that. I love that for you guys. Alrighty. Let's pull out an oracle card to close your reading, Capricorn. Spirit of the river, movement towards adventure, the number 50. And I know I don't mention the numbers on all of them. It comes out how it comes out. The number 5 usually talks about change, right? And a lot of this, like this, a lot of this change is coming somatically for a lot of you guys. I feel that, again, living in this delusion or in this bubble that you have created towards your goals, right? And again, it doesn't have to be finances, it doesn't have to be career wise, it can be love, it can be hobby, it can be creativity, whatever it is. There's a bubble that you're creating, right? And you are like, I'm not letting anybody in. This is between me and spirit, my guys, and we got this, right? So I feel that your mind and your spirit are in alignment with this. And now what you're doing is like, you're okay, spirit, okay, now how do I get my physical body, right, into alignment with this so that it manifests? And that is where I feel that a lot of the surrendering to the space is coming from, right? Because you know that in order to manifest something, your body, right, has to give out that energy that you are in alignment with what you're asking. If there is restriction, if there is constriction within your physical body, then you're sending out mixed signals to the universe. So that is something that a lot of you during this time, I feel, are mastering through curiosity, through doing different types of things, right? Regardless of how delulu, how crazy it may sound to other people. Alrighty, Capricorn. Aquarius. During this time, Aquarius, I feel that a lot of you are just like in a do not mess with me, and middle finger all the way up to a lot of people. You're just like, nope, 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 nope. There are people that you guys have cut off, people that you guys have set very strict boundaries with, and you're just like, do not even dare come around, do not even dare come around me during this time, because I'm not dealing with this. Like, we are not doing this. This is not a dance that we're going to do again. This is not a game anymore. Like, I am done. And what I really like about this space for you guys is that you're reflecting about all the times that you caved, all the times that you allowed yourself, excuse me guys, because my that you allowed yourself to cave in to somebody, right? Whether it was at work, whether it was romantically, it doesn't really matter. We're picking up the collective energy of caving, right? The collective energy of somebody that it's almost kind of like, and this is going to sound kind of like what, but it was like you were, like when somebody, I keep on hearing the word trespass, like trespassing. um and it's not the word that I like, that I'm feeling, but it's the word that is coming to my mind. So like, so we're gonna go with the trespassing, right? So like, this is your, you have a piece of land, right? And this is your border, right? And somebody keeps on trespassing into your land, right? And you give them a warning, then you put up sign, and they keep on trespassing, right? And then you put up walls, right? And now, because, or a fence, whatever, you put a fence and they climb the fence, and now you're putting up a wall that is like 3 times the size of the fence. So now they cannot get through the wall, but now they're knocking on the door and they're like, hey, I know that I trespassed on your land before, but I really, really want to come on your land again. And it's like, you kind of like, okay, like, I don't know if it's like you're stuck in the space where you think that the time that the person, or I think that the person feels that the time that they spend away from you, they learn their lesson or something like that. But something in your spirit is telling you not to allow this individual or this behavior to continue. So I would very much listen to it. I keep on hearing like alguien que da labio, right? Da labio, meaning in Spanish, like somebody that gives lips, meaning somebody that is a sweet talker, somebody that is very good with their words. So maybe you're dealing with somebody like that in your space, so just be very aware of it, because I feel that if you allow this individual back into your life, whether it's romantic or platonic, there is no there there is no different outcome than what you have experienced with this person in the past. So there's nothing different here, there's nothing new here, so don't allow yourself to get sucked back into something. All right. Pisces, no, why was I gonna say Pisces? Or maybe some of you are dealing with the Pisces. Aquarius. Give me a card, closing card. So stranger, curiosity. um there is a sense here of curiosity of what would it look like if I follow through. What would it look like if I don't cave? What would it look like if I really put an end to the cycle between me and this person? What would my life look like in a week from now? What would my life look like a month, a year from now? What would I be able to accomplish? What dreams of mine would I actually start to follow or start to invest in when I am no longer investing all of this energy in this situation that I have been doing? Allow that curiosity to lead you forward, Aquarius. All right. Um, Pisces. Excuse me. So Pisces, a lot of you, mm, during this time, whenever you're reflecting about things, you tend to get very like very much in your feelings, very emotional. But I feel like during this time, you are allowing yourself to feel the sensation, to feel it really quickly, and then you're moving forward. You're not getting stuck in a feeling, in a sensation for as long as you used to in the past. Because the thing is, like, you would feel something, something would come up, and then you would just like, it's kind of like you would go into like this mind loop of like over analyzing, overthinking in regards to a space. And during this time, I don't see you doing that. During this time, I really see you addressing something directly and being like, oh, this is what this energy is, this is what it is. So like, let's say for those of you that are dealing with a romantic partner, it's like you're just like, you know what, this person lied about this. I'm not making an excuse for this person anymore. And nor am I blaming myself for this person lying to me. I'm going to blame myself. I'm going to take accountability for the fact that I allowed this person back into my life, or that I allowed this behavior up to this point. But we're not sitting in this. We're cutting ties and we're saying bye-bye and we're moving forward, right? That is the energy that you guys really need to focus on during this time. It's like, let's allow what needs to come up to come up, show us what it wants, but let's not get stuck within that space. And again, you guys tend to get stuck within the emotional aspects of things. So do not do that during this time. Whether this is, regardless of whatever the area it is in your life, do not get stuck within that space in itself. Um, a lot of you again are, stop identifying in the fact that you are a water sign, that you have to be in this like emotional turmoil. And what I mean by that is like some of you use certain things as excuses, right? There are excuses and then there are reasons, right? So an excuse is like, oh, I went to bed late last night, so I couldn't wake up this morning to exercise. That's an excuse, because you had a choice to go ahead and go to bed early so that you could wake up in time to do, to work out. A reason would be something that is like out of your control, like you were driving and all of a sudden somebody like you got into like a minor car accident, somebody bumped your car, so now you have to call the cops and this and this and that. And even though you're not hurt or anything, there's a reason why you're delayed. There's a reason why you're not making it there on time. So for a lot of you, this is like the address or the approach that you have to take when you are reflecting on your past, when you are reflecting on things that you are trying to change, when you're trying to move forward. Stop making excuses, and if a reason arises, yes, we accept the reason, but the excuses is the part that you guys need to walk away from. What do we have for Pisces? The father gate, bold, stepped forward. The 55. So again, for a lot of you, this wanting to move forward is definitely going to come with this self-reflection. Like in the spaces where you have been making excuses for whatever the reason may be, you're gonna have to address that part of yourself. You're gonna have to acknowledge that that part of yourself does exist, and that how you have been using that energy, what you've been doing with that energy, and really allow yourself to move forward. And when we finally accept something for what it truly is, then it really does allow us to move forward in life. Well, guys, that is all that I have. Sending every single one of you love, strength, and blessing. Guys, take care. Love you all. Bye bye.